Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at CRWV. It is time for another update, and on the long time frame we have been tracking this pretty basic structure where we have a 1-2 setup that has developed or could realistically still be developing. Now for this movement to the downside, this correction, we do still have available the entire support zone between the $97 level all the way down to the $48.5 level at the 78.6% retracement, and as long as we stay above that, we have still a high likelihood of reversal to the upside in a wave 3. Yeah, so basically, even if we go all the way down to this point at the 78.6% retracement and we form an initial 5 wave to the upside, it is the same likelihood of working out, the same high probability, but it is even better because the risk reward ratio is severely increased, where yeah, a break below the 78.6% retracement would be a good indication that this 1-2 setup will not have the same probabilities to work out, so it would be an indication that it could be a failure. And a break basically below the beginning of this wave 1 would be a complete invalidation of such a wave 2, of such a 1-2 setup that is forming in this area. And yeah, if we manage to form an initial 5 wave move to the upside, we have a high likelihood of finding support in an additional wave 2. It is the next levels of confirmation for this 1-2 setup, and then we can with even higher likelihood look for a third wave to the upside to take us to new all-time highs. Now depending on how this develops, it doesn't need to turn out exactly like that, could be many different ways. We should still continue to track what we have at hand right now, and there are a number of different possible scenarios in this area. So if this wave 2 bottomed here, it would need to be probably within a WXY pattern. It does fit better the structure that has formed. If we push to the downside, it could still be either within the orange scenario or in something entirely different, where yeah, this could be a larger ABC structure or a larger WXY structure that is forming within this wave 2. Now the exact count, the exact pattern does not matter. We are just looking for a 3-wave correction within a wave 2, and once that is complete, we are looking for the first 5-wave move to the upside for the first level, the first confirmation that we have bottomed. And that is actually why it kind of is an issue having here the wave 2 bottom, because the movement, the uptrend that has started from that point is actually a hot mess. We have very little structure, very little reliability is provided to us by the chart structure. And in this case, yeah, I have been attempting to track different counts that could work out, and I do still see it a possibility for it to work out, but honestly it is incredibly reduced, and yeah, I would be extremely careful with any position. I do feel like we are in a high risk area. Now, I will provide you momentarily a support zone that will be a great indication that if broken, yeah, we are very likely to push in a more direct fashion to the downside. Now, we have here on the chart still this orange scenario, which we did break above the resistance for it, the resistance area, making it decrease in the likelihood of playing out, but it is not yet invalidated. For invalidation, I mentioned this multiple times before, we need to break above this beginning of the wave 1 to the downside, the wave B top, and as long as we stay below that, it could still play out in this orange scenario, where we are looking to form a larger wave C to the downside, where we have basically a 1-2 setup here, and now we would be looking for a third wave to the downside. Now, as I was saying, it is not the highest likelihood interpretation necessarily. I do have other interpretations that could turn this into a larger WXY or something like this, some sort of a 3-wave correction, especially since yeah, we did break above this resistance area, not necessarily the highest likelihood, and we do still have the possibility of continuing this uptrend. Now since this structure is so messy, it is, and yeah, basically so weak, we do not have the luxury of having a reliable setup. What I can be tracking could be either a series of 1-2 setups that has occurred so far. We have been making higher highs and higher lows, so that is generally a good sign. But I even provided you these support zone areas in the previous videos, where the idea for this 1-2 setup, it did work out fine. So no problem with that. We did find support at the 78.6% retracement in green, and we did push higher. But then we failed to form a clear 5-wave structure to the upside. We did have an initial 1-2 setup here, then another 1-2 setup here, a third wave up, and I was looking for a wave 4 correction. Now, technically, we didn't fully invalidate it, and maybe there was some sort of distortion in this area. It is, after all, in the very small time frame. Maybe this internal wave 3 was fully complete, and we can track this as a 1-2, a third wave up, a fourth wave down, and then this as the fifth wave to the upside. And in this case, it might even make more sense to be in a diagonal structure. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I suppose it's fine. Let's track this as an additional 1-2 setup that is forming in this area. But this must start to push really soon, because if this actually fails, if we fail to hold here support for the wave 2 and form the actual wave 3 to the upside, the likelihood of something a lot more bearish, like the orange scenario, playing out increases drastically, to the point that, yeah, that might turn into one of my preferred scenarios, but that we can leave that to the point where, yeah, we actually do break the support zone. Now, I can remove basically this additional count and mark it as, yeah, let's do it here again, a 1-2, a third, fourth, and the fifth, and then this could be the wave 3, this could be the wave 4 afterwards, and then we would get the fifth wave. But again, I do need it to start running, and if it does not, yeah, I am looking for something either in the orange scenario or in a different pattern, but either case could lead to quite severe downside. Now, the movement to the upside. Could we look for anything else for continuation to the upside if this 1-2 setup fails? Well, I am trying to see some patterns that could be developing here, but then this as a 1-2 could work out fine. Then this as a third wave up, not really. I mean, we could track it, but we failed to reach the 138.2% extension, so the likelihood of that working out as a wave 3 is also reduced. Now, if I maybe use this as the bottom and consider that this was an A overshooting wave B and then a C wave down, might make a little more sense, but then this would look more like an impulse, and then we have here an ABC structure developing. It is, yeah, that is why I basically called it a hot mess previously. And regardless of that, even if it is the case, we would have an extremely similar support zone where, yeah, for such a wave 4 in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern that would be developing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the support zone would end at the 61.8% retracement, which is even above the 78.6% retracement that we have here for this 1-2 setup. And yeah, now that I mentioned it, I realized I forgot to point out that the support zone for this wave 2 is between the $134 level all the way down to the $124 level at the 78.6% retracement. This is the level that must hold. We do have also some structural resistance, or sorry, some structural support in this area, and we did find support initially at the 61.8% retracement. We are attempting to push higher, but yeah, honestly, the move down to the downside still looks pretty strong. I would probably still look forward for possibly another low in this area. Yeah, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th. Hard to tell. Honestly, it is in an extremely small time frame. I wouldn't focus too much on that. But if you are interested, yeah, you can use this support area. But if this fails, yeah, it is a great warning sign that something else might be playing out. And yeah, we were discussing about that something else. And what could it be? Well, honestly, not much. I could also see this maybe as a WXY pattern developing within a large wave B. But then again, I would like for this support zone to hold even for that interpretation, where we had an ABC pattern in the wave W, an ABC pattern in the wave X, and then another ABC pattern in the wave Y. And in that case, yeah, I would be expecting within this wave C to still form this 5-wave move to the upside. So in either case, unless we succeed in holding the 78.6% retracement here, it is looking pretty bad for this chart, and I don't really have much else to add. I wouldn't really be focusing on additional support zone below this. I would instead look directly at the white support zone that we have for the larger wave 2, where yeah, we are likely going to get a reset basically. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.